Good morning, YouTube family.
Good morning, YouTube family. I'm Helen.
I'm Jackie.
We've gone potty as usual.
We thought we'd do a little catch up. It's been a little while, and we hope you're all right. We've got this storm at the moment, so well, it's passing over. It was quite windy during the night. Luckily, I've been out and had a look, and there's no damage, so good.
I think the last storm got the weakest branches and brought them down. So, you know, this one's worse, this storm, but everything seems intact at the moment. But we did have power cuts during the night.
I didn't hear him. I must have been well awake.
You don't normally hear a
well
power.
Awake.
You don't normally.
Well asleep.
Just listening for power cuts.
No, but I noticed that actually in the kitchen on the cooker.
Was
the
it
lights,
flashing?
Yeah, the lights flashing.
We got a while ago. We got one of those robot vacuum cleaners. I know it's a bit lazy. We've got a proper one as well. It's just with having 4 little dogs, you know, and all their little fluff getting everywhere. It's quite handy to go out and, you know, let it go, and it'll pick up the worst of it, and then we'll do it thoroughly. But that, you always know when you've got a power cut because you hear this bleeping in the hall of it trying to find its base station. So about 6 o'clock this morning it was bleep, bleep, you know, and I thought, oh yeah. So I looked and saw everything that had an LED was completely off, and then it came back. It was only momentary, not like the last power cut we had was for hours.
I'm surprised it didn't go off, to be honest.
Well, it did, but not severely here, which is, you know, normally it's a few hours here, isn't it?
There's more though. There's more storms coming.
Oh, you're cheering
one
me
of
up.
them. No, one of them's a cold front with some snow. But I mean, we don't get anything like some of our subscribers say, like Colorado or places like that in Canada. We don't get nothing like that, do we?
Yeah, no, I saw on social media my friend Lisa saying, for those of you like the snow, and where she is in sort of upstate New York, I think it's pretty deep. So good luck to you all. But you're geared up for it. I mean, when I used to work abroad a lot more, you know, in other countries where they get it, it's the law that by a certain date they have to change to winter tyres, and then they have to change back to summer tyres. So you're all prepared. You have a second set of wheels for your car, but here it's like, well, everything stops really.
Yeah, but let's just face it. It comes, it settles for a day, and then it's gone.
Well, that's true. In the west of Ireland, it is quite a mild climate. A lot of rain, a lot of damp, a lot of wind,
a lot of algae, a lot of green growing everywhere.
Yeah, you paint the house, and actually I noticed the windows around the side.
Yeah, there's
algae on them. It's that damp.
It's actually one of those countries where that's probably the one of maybe my downside of it is that everything gets covered in algae. You know, like the drive and everything. You'd have to do that probably once or twice a year with a power washer.
Yeah.
But actually, when you've done it, it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's a bit like doing your housework.
Yeah.
Your front garden all nice.
Yeah.
Well, here comes the rain now, really heavy.
Oh, we've got a lashing of rain. I think it's headed over to the UK now, and you know, stay safe if you're over there and it's coming your way, and fingers crossed. Nobody gets any damage or harm.
I actually popped outside this morning to let the little brown hens out. I let them have a little bit of a free range out there, and it's so funny because what they do is I feed them and put their, you know, do their water, and the other hens obviously, but I do let the little brown ones have a little walk, and they follow me, and then they go inside the polytunnel, and there's a little patch at the back with this dried dirt, and they have a little bath in there, and then they come out.
They're quite funny to watch.
I've actually shut the door and wedged it because if that wind gets inside, it will take off. But
oh, it's concreted in, isn't it?
No, but the plastic.
Oh, the polythene cover, yeah.
I mean, it is attached, but I mean, it's such a strong wind, it probably would take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this week, just thinking of power cuts and things, we're going to have the power cut all day on, is it Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, we're Sunday today.
Yeah,
so Wednesday.
We have these very tall fir trees that were here when we moved, and they've grown significantly, and all the major electric cables are embedded in them now, and so it's not there's nothing we can do about it, and we can't stop it, but the ESB, the electricity board here, have to come and chop the trees so that the cables don't come down in a high wind. And so we're going to lose some tree, but I think what we'll have to do, perhaps plant a fruit tree in memorial or something. But they do come with an industrial massive wood chipper, and I'm hoping they do that, and then we get loads of wood chip for the fruit garden that you're building.
Yeah, and for everywhere really. It pads out beds, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, and also when you need acidity as well, it's good, isn't it? Because you can just mix some of that in, and I've got an azalea to repot, and put a few of those pine chips, wood chips in, and that'll
great,
do the job, won't it? Yeah.
And we won't get cold or anything when the electric's off, because we've got 2 stoves, one in the front room and one in Helen's room. The front room one runs a back boiler which uses water to heat all the radiators.
Yeah.
And Helen's one is just a pure stove. It throws out quite a lot of heat, and you can also put your kettle on the top, can't you?
Yeah. That was one of the things when I was working, was to make sure that because we're rural, if we had a power cut, we always had a source of heat and cooking. Because we don't have gas here. I guess we could get gas with bottles and stuff, but we're all electric here, or solid fuel.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can't use the one with the back boiler when there's no electricity to pump the water around the radiators. So we knew at least we'll have one room we can keep really warm. At the end of the day, you can put a nice cast iron kettle on, which we bought.
Well, like in the old days, get a toasting fork.
Get your marshmallows out. Yeah. Well, you could do, couldn't you? And you did, Jackie, you got one of those little camping gas things, didn't you? So
little Kelly kettle.
If you want a quick cup of tea, you can do it.
Yeah.
But it's been a godsend, really, this little fire, hasn't it? And it's only small cast iron, but we use smokeless fuel in it, and the heat from it's amazing.
It's incredible, really. But you need it in here because this room Helen's in is north facing, and it's very cold, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the coldest room. It's right on the corner, on the windy corner, with the icy blasts when they come. Not too often, but it does get the coldest in here.
Yeah, and the problem is with us here, I don't know if we said before, we've got no insulation in the loft yet, so we're losing a lot of the heat, aren't we?
We are at the moment. There's a scheme which we signed up to, and it's in part funded by Ireland and in part funded by the EU, to make sure that everyone's homes are up to sort of good insulation standards and reduce your carbon footprint. And we're on the list. We're waiting for the survey, but the list here is about 1.5 years, and we were approved last June, so maybe this time next year it'll be installed. But and there's no loft insulation, and it's the brickwork. Well, it's not brickwork, solid stone walls, isn't it? So,
but we're having this sort of thing. What is it? Is it more economical to run the big stove and the coal, to use the small fire and run some of the oil from the oil? Yeah,
we do have central heating with an oil-fired boiler. And I mean, oil prices have gone up a little bit, but they're still much cheaper than 3 or 4 years ago. So it might be worth us, instead of getting more coal delivered, trying the oil, because that's our biggest expense, isn't it?
It's horrendous. I was really shocked.
We got through 1/2 ton of coal, and we used the oil in the morning for 3 hours to just, warm up the place a little bit. Half a ton of coal in less than 3 weeks, and that's £200.
Yeah.
€200.
Just can't
So
do
probably
it.
about
It's just ridiculous, that
£180.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're trying to work out what's the best way for us to do it.
I know. I'll get you one of them foot warmers. You have to put your coat on. Put your
I
hood
know.
up.
Well, I have got
Okay.
my Madame Algae shawl on from
Oh.
Blythe Spirit, so I'll do you a tea leaf reading later.
Hope it's good.
I loved Margaret Rutherford. St Trinian. She was in St Trinian's as well. Weren't they great films?
I don't know them.
You don't know
No.
St Trinian? She hasn't lived, has she?
No, I don't know
God,
them,
she
Helen.
must have had a misspent youth.
I never used to watch a lot of telly films. I never have been like that. I'm still really not like that.
Real old ones I like, and I loved Blythe Spirit and the old Lassie films. I used to sit with my little sister on the stool watching it, and we'd just blub and blub and blub, you know.
Do you know what I used to love? I used to love watching Heidi.
Heidi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Black Beauty.
You see, you see, the thing is, there is an age gap, so you're kind of the next generation.
How much age gap?
You're about 10 years older than me, aren't you?
Get out of it.
And I mean, music and films, I think we're slightly different generations, but we can appreciate them. I remember watching Black Beauty.
I like
it was
the
good.
80s. What do you like?
No, well, the thing is, because I'm one of a large family, and apart from one, they're all older than me, so I was born in 61 in Portsmouth, and I grew up with my siblings, and I'm one of 6, and they were so much older. They were all into the Beatles and the Stones, and so I grew up with 60s music from as far back as I can remember, and it's ingrained in me, and I think just about everyone in my family is a huge Beatles fan. And in fact, my brother, he was in a Beatles tribute band, quite a well-known one, really popular, and he was Ringo. But
was he?
everyone, yeah, he was a great drummer. So yeah.
Oh, memories.
Memories. Yeah, he's gone now. He passed nearly a year ago. So good memories. Good memories.
So what have you been doing this week, Helen? You've been pottering around in your office, haven't you?
Oh yeah. Well, I also have set up as a studio, and I'm redesigning websites, and my hair's getting thinner because it's WordPress, but
That is hard, that WordPress.
well, I'm using some themes. I'm using Elementor, and I'm getting the hang of it. And I think this is the beauty of YouTube, isn't it? You know, you just put a search in, and I've just watched a really good video that solved quite a lot of problems. So I think I can crack on now, because I was trying to decide, do I go the easy way and do Wix, or do I do WordPress and a theme builder like Elementor? Because I find the WordPress themes hard. And so I've gone this way.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it's cheaper. It also means you can do more than one site.
Yeah.
And I'm just determined to crack the WordPress curse. It's like you know, there's one thing I ever do in the rest of my life is master WordPress. So I'm doing it, but there's a lot more functionality. And I mean, like, if we do a cooking video, the templates for like recipes are so much better.
Yeah. Well, you want it easier. The easier the better, isn't it? And then later on, you can put me a little one on there. I've got a domain name.
Yeah. Put the Gone Potty gardening and the Gone Potties and that. But you can have up to the one I've got for the themes, you can have up to 3 people using it. Yeah. And I only have to do a small, very cheap upgrade to have more than one domain where I am at the moment.
What I'd like to do, kind of like after this gardening season, because obviously this is the second year, as you know, gardening. I've still got lots to get done, and you know, get the garden how we want it, really. Yeah. But I'd like a little website, and I'd like to put some of my pyrography, you know, the wood burning signs for the garden on a little website for sale. Nothing extravagant, and perhaps some of the stained little glass sun catchers and things.
Oh, I love the stained glass you do. Yeah, they make really nice gifts.
But I'm not going to rush into that. That'd be well, you've got to suss out the site first anyway, haven't you? And once you know it properly, you can help me, can't you?
Let me do one and see how it goes. I'm getting there, and I think I've cracked something that was holding me back. So we'll see later on today how I get on, and then hopefully it'll fly.
That's it.
Yeah.
We've got to go to Dublin again.
Oh, God, yeah.
When is that?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, last time, what time was the appointment?
Which? The clinic or the MRI?
What time did we have to leave home last time? It was at 8:30.
The appointment was at 10 to 1.
We left home quite early.
We left about 7:15, I think, about 7:30, 7:45, and had a good stop for coffee, and then we were okay. In fact, we just made it with, a bit of time to spare.
But this time we have to leave earlier.
Yeah, the appointment's earlier, and I'm hoping it'll be the last time we have to go to that clinic.
Helen had to have an MRI to do with neurological things, so we've got to go back this week to see Professor Hardiman.
Yeah.
And with the results of the MRI, and
I'm just hoping it's the last time, because she specialises in certain aspects, and they've been almost ruled out. So I want to say, that's it, I don't need to come anymore, and do a little hop and skip. Well, in my mind anyway.
Yeah.
It's a big trip for us, because it takes about, with the traffic, 3.5 to 4 hours to get to the hospital, and then you need a coffee stop really halfway, and then of course the same back, and then it's when you go to the clinic, there's everyone there who's a patient, and it, emotionally it quite takes it out of you, seeing some of the people who are really, really struggling.
A lot of the patients have got motor neurone, haven't they?
Yeah, and and it's really tough to see that. It's such a devastating disease.
And it doesn't have any boundaries. So some people are really young, aren't they?
And I think the thing is that the worst thing about it is it's one of those illnesses that there's very little treatment. I mean, there are some treatments and there's constant research, but the research that I looked at was mostly focused on genetic, links. And if you don't have the certain genes, then there's still a long way to go. But I'm sure that the understanding is much greater than it used to be.
Yeah.
But it's a tough one, isn't it? It's very tough. And so you come back and you feel sort of emotionally wrung out as well as physically run out from the journey. So
anyway, let's we've got some posts, didn't we, this week?
Yeah, quick crop delivered.
So let's have a look what's in the box.
Right, Jackie's going to get it out. We are seed potatoes, I'm sure, are here.
There's a little envelope as well, with the number on. So let's see.
I'm just going to change the camera so Jackie can show you everything. There we go.
Right, this one, squash. I probably say
Oh, is that the funny one? That's
what is it?
Uchikikuri.
Yeah.
Uchikikuri.
So that's so we got plenty of squashes here, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, this is some basil. You say basil, didn't you?
No, I say basil, but a lot of people say basil.
All right, basil or basil. Sweet Genovese.
Yeah, that's quite a nice one. Nice fleshy leaves.
And this one's
what have you got there?
Squash sunbeam.
Oh, that's the sunbeam. Yeah, we've got a few others.
You get about 5 seeds in there.
Yeah, well, if it's quite prolific, you probably, if they all take, or if even one of them takes, you get plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's have a look at what's in here.
So we were waiting quite a while for this, weren't we? Because they were on back order, and we delivered. We ordered. When was it? About early January.
Yeah.
And we hadn't heard anything. Got in touch with them, and the back order had just arrived, so they're on the way.
So these are purple. These are our potato delivery.
Purple Majesty.
Yeah, Purple Majesty.
We've
That's
got
beyond the
list,
list,
haven't
wasn't
we?
it? Yeah.
Purple Majesty seed potatoes. Only 5 tubers of those.
These are like little trial packs.
Yeah. So these are the ones that are purple on the inside as well.
Yeah. Oh, they'd be nice, won't they?
Yeah.
It's nice to experiment and try different types. So that's that one. This one is what's this? Colleen.
Organic Colleen.
Organic. Are these Maine or what? These Colleen.
Oh God, I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
We'll look them up.
Yeah. So these are Colleen.
I can't remember. I think they are main crop, but I don't know. Oh, they're already chitting, aren't they?
Aren't they? To get them. That's another one chitting on its own.
Yeah, they're almost.
So that's Colleen and purple, and we got our seeds. Let's just put them at the back there.
What's this?
This is that's what the seeds were in.
Oh, great. Oh, I'll put
this
that
is
away.
another. This is Charlotte. This is just.
The Charlotte's the second earlies, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the. You can just see. I'm just looking at the list here of what we've ordered, and they say second earlies on there. So.
Oh, the Charlottes are all. We must have ordered because there's 4 of them.
We ordered 2.5 kilograms.
Oh.
So
there's 4 next to them.
God, there's going to be. Anyone fancy any spuds this year? There's going to be loads, aren't there?
Actually, no, they're all the Charlotte. So
well, they're like 6. God.
Yeah, but that must be 2.5 kilograms.
Yeah. Just think if everyone.
Oh, no, there's another one.
Oh my God! It never stops.
What we can do is, if we get loads of potatoes, and we didn't have enough last year. We didn't have any to store over winter.
No, that's true. But
even like with second earlies and all that, you can always cook like what do you call it? When you partly cook it, what's it called?
Parboil. Parboiling them.
Yeah, well, I suppose, you could make chips and freeze them, couldn't you? And
I know what you mean. Yeah. Can't think of the word.
So let's see what's out.
Blanche.
Blanche.
I got it. Blanche. That must be a film with Blanche in it.
Let's see what else is here.
Okay. Actually, do you know? I've had a little thought. No, don't worry. Keep going. I want to see Miss Buds.
There's another little box here.
What's that?
Has that got anything on it? Oh yeah, it's written on there. New salad blue.
Oh, they're blues.
These are new salad potatoes.
They're blues.
That are blue.
I don't know if when they're cooked they stay blue or not, but anyway, it'd be nice to see, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Never eaten salad potatoes.
Yeah.
So that's a little trial pack in there.
What I'm wondering is we lost some to blight, and I'm wondering if we should have more than one area where we grow them.
Well, I'm going to grow them in bags.
I know, but for the blight.
Yeah, put them in different areas.
One side of the house have some and put the other half the other side and see.
I've never heard of these ones. Look.
What are they called?
Isle of Jura.
Oh yes,
This is just a trial pack as well. You just get 5.
Is €1.85 for 5 Isle of Jura seed potatoes.
How much do we pay for the seed potatoes over here? Like say them Charlottes. How much were all them bags? So for 2.
Yeah, for 2.5 kilograms, £6.
€6.50.
I keep saying pounds. €6.50. Yeah.
There's another one.
We've got some experiments, you see, to have this year. I think that's great.
Someone told me, one of our subscribers, that actually if you do get blight, to cut the stem right down and cover it with earth and leave them in there.
Oh, well, we'll definitely.
This one's called Jazzy.
Jazzy. Let's see.
Little tiny.
Jazzy seed potato, 5 tuber pack, £1.85.
So then they're jazzy.
God, we're gonna
We've
look
got
like.
tons of potatoes.
I know we'll be giving them to the neighbours.
Yeah, but these, I'm hoping that we can store some in a really dark place. What are these? Oh, these are main crop.
Oh, you got Satanta there,
Satanta.
and you got 2.5 kilograms organic main crop.
Yeah.
Those ones are organic.
Yeah.
Lovely.
We definitely need to get some more soil. I used all of our soil in the fruit beds and
Yeah.
everything. And the final one, it must be another main crop. Oh no, it's not.
It's not. It's the ones
these
you wanted.
yeah.
The pink furs, is it?
Yeah, these are the pink furs. You've probably seen from
The main crop salad potatoes.
Mm.
They're lovely.
We couldn't get the Anya because they're in the UK and it's not worth just ordering one thing from the UK when you've got to use postage and things. So yeah, so we got plenty of potatoes.
We've got loads. We got so many potatoes that what we got there in seeds is probably what we get through only
In a
month.
year.
Can you imagine? Not
No,
quite a
but-
year.
No, but what we can do is we can make sure we've got plenty. And don't forget Louis coming.
Oh yes, yeah.
He's quite
Yeah.
a big eater, and he really.
Yeah. My
But-
son's coming over for a while. Yeah.
But also, we can give some to Tommy, can't we?
Yeah.
Neighbour and. No, we don't want to. We want to make sure we're all right first, and
Yeah.
we didn't grow enough last year to store, so this year we've gone a bit madder. And
There's loads. And you think each one of those, if you get, even if you only got 4 or 5,
potatoes are expensive in the shop though.
they're really. Do you know?
Yeah.
This always amazes me about Ireland. It's such a wonderful place to be.
Mm.
But I mean, it's famous for being able to grow potatoes, and yet they're so expensive here.
Yeah.
They really are.
It's a staple, really, isn't it? A lot of people use them for
Yeah.
lots of different things, but yeah, it is expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive. But so it looks like I've got my work cut out, Helen. Planting them,
Yeah, you're going to be
but we definitely
spud
need some
planting.
soil.
We'll get some.
Yeah.
We'll get some.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will. You got to have soil, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, we could even get them started and then get some and just top up. You know, but we need some more.
I'm sure though that once you've got all your potatoes planted and they start growing up, you can cover it with different things.
Like what?
People do, like Tommy said, what they do in Ireland, or what they did years ago, was dig a great big hole. I suppose he did it with a tractor in them days, and he would put the seed potatoes in,
Yeah.
cover it with earth,
Yeah.
but then when they started to come up, they would put all straw on the top.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it?
But
Yeah.
whether that would work in a bag, I don't know. You need a fair amount of compost for them to grow.
They
don't
need
you?
the soil and they
But
need
perhaps
to
when they-
anchor into and,
perhaps when
and
they get
nourishment.
Yeah, perhaps when they get sort of like, over halfway, maybe straw.
Well,
And it-
straw's never a problem here, is
No.
it? Because of the donkeys and everything.
Does anybody know? Because I know there's a few great gardeners on the channel, and they might know. They
Yeah.
might. We'd love to hear that anyway.
Great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So we've got a bit of sunshine now.
Yes.
And what about you, Helen, with your recording? What have you been
Oh
doing?
yeah, I've been recording. So I love experimenting with sound and pushing the boundaries a bit. And I've been recording plants and plants singing. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? I'm the crazy plant singing lady. But I have this little device, and you can attach it with sensors to the leaves of a plant, and what it does is it records the biofeedback, the electromagnetic feedback from the plant that's constantly changing, puts it into a MIDI processor, a sound processor that's programmed with all sorts of different permutations for different frequencies and instruments,
Yeah.
and out comes this amazing sound. Well, we found it incredibly relaxing, didn't we?
Yeah.
And very beautiful. I was going to play a little bit. So I was recording plants. Let's see if you can hear it.
Will it be copyright though?
I own the copyright.
Oh. Yeah, it might come up as a copyright strike on here, I don't know.
I own it. Yeah. Well, we'll just dispute it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do that and I create nice sort of soundscapes and meditation CDs, and if you like that kind of thing, we can always put a link in if you like. But
yeah, I'll drop a link down below to things that Helen's created, and you might want to just check it out.
But you know, I love just doing it and sharing the plant songs. And also, I've been experimenting this week with using them as a MIDI interface into computer programs like Logic Pro 10 and GarageBand and Ableton Live, and just messing around with it and adding new instruments and things like that, and I like that. Some of them I'll add things like bird song in the background and that, and it really is lovely. Yeah, it's very relaxing.
Remember that one you done with the whales?
Oh yeah, it was the whale song.
It's lovely.
Yeah, we got some whale song.
Yeah.
I tell you, actually, talking whale song, I've got a lovely story to tell you.
Oh yeah.
And when I was in Australia and I was working, one of my hosts knows how passionate I am about Indigenous ways of life and beliefs and traditions, and so they arranged for an Aboriginal elder to come and meet us, and he played his didgeridoo, and he was a great guy.
That would have been awesome.
It was awesome. Really was one of those highlights, you'll never forget. Anyway, while we were there, we had noticed this as we were driving back and forth to the venue where I was working. We noticed this amazing tree in the forests that was probably about 40 foot high with this massive, beautiful red crown. And we didn't know what it was called, but it only comes at certain times of the year, and it lasts for about a month. So I asked the elder what was this plant, because I know they use a lot of plant medicine, and he started to talk about it. So he gave the Aboriginal name for this plant, but there's a story, and you've just reminded me with the whale song, because apparently when that particular plant flowers in the forest, it's a signal to the women, and the women go to the coast and they sing to the whales. I mean, that just blew my mind, because we sort of buy all these meditation things and that with whale song and think, wow, it's really evocative and relaxing. And here were the humans singing to the whales. It also signals a time when a certain fish that was part of their diet and would feed, the communities was, there.
In that time.
Yeah. And they would go to the riverbanks. Some of them would go to the riverbanks and sing to the fish and offer their gratitude. And everything was sort of offered back as gratitude, even though that was part of their diet, and so they would eat the fish. But I just had this image of the coastline, and this is what absolutely gets me emotionally. The eastern coastline of Australia with these fine, beautiful, proud Aboriginal women singing to the whales as they're migrating, and their tails are splashing down out of the water, and they're blowing the water out of the blowhole. And I was lucky when I was there that it was migration season to see that. But the whole image is just incredible, isn't it? Isn't nature amazing?
It's amazing,
But also, I think what's so wonderful is listening and learning about how people who didn't have 5G and Netflix and all that, how they interacted with the land and with the animals and with the plants, and how everything was connected. I find that beautiful.
That other story about the tree and the tsunami.
Oh.
I love that story.
Oh, yeah.
You should be a storyteller, Helen.
No. You get bored of my voice. So, in the tragic 2004 tsunami, the Andaman Islands were particularly badly hit. And on one of the Andaman Islands, the indigenous people are tree people. They all lived up in the trees, and they all survived. But that's the way they've always lived, and not because of tsunamis, but that's how they've always lived. And they have a belief system that the planet is cradled by a tree. It's held up by a tree, and that is their ancient indigenous belief system. And that particular early morning, as the tsunami was about to strike, the fishermen noticed how far the sea went out, and they believed that the tree had bent so far that it had taken the sea with it, and that meant it was going to snap back. So they knew this was going to happen, nothing to do with an earthquake, but their logic of the earth being balanced on a tree was going to whip back. So they ran back and got all their tribes into their tree homes, and they all survived. Subsequent tribes who were not indigenous but had made it their home, sadly they all lost their lives because they didn't have that belief system. And it was their belief of living in the trees and understanding how the world and nature interacts by being balanced on a tree. So yeah, it's
there's so much wonder in nature, isn't there?
there really is. And I think that's the lovely thing is, you know, I mean, I like all the gadgets and things like that. I won't deny it. You know, I'm a product of the times, but
I think we both like gadgets.
But I love indigenous history and knowledge, and I love being close to nature.
Do you know what I love?
Tell me.
The flute.
Oh, the Native American
flute. That music, I love it.
Good friend of mine plays, and he's teaching this week, and he sometimes puts it through a small portable Marshall speaker that buskers use, and it gives it like the sort of canyon type of sound. Yeah.
Does he have a channel, Helen?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He wouldn't. Yeah.
Anyway, I suppose we better bring it to a close, haven't we?
Yeah. I just remember he does have a CD out, but I'm not sure where to get it. I'll have to look that up.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So happy gardening and have a great week.
Be creative and enjoy every day. Until the next one, we'll see you soon.
And it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Go on, Potties. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Why not come and join me on Facebook or Instagram? The link is in the description.